up here. I'm gonna tell you that right now. This thing has been acting really strange. But hello and welcome to the Griot Collective. I'm Nathaniel Gadsden. Thank you so much for tuning in and checking us out here on The Voice, 17104 Harrisburg, with Brother Chris Thomas. Brother Chris, thank you so much. I have a very special guest tonight, Brother Kaaba Brunson. And we all know Brother Kaaba. He is a man with a plan. He has been running the ACT-SO, NAACP ACT-SO competition locally and statewide, and has been on the national level for years now. And if you've never heard of ACT-SO, we want you to tune in and listen up, because this affects young people, grades 9 through 12. And it really is a fantastic program. Brother Kaaba, welcome to the show.
Peace. Thanks for having me, Brother Nate.
Thanks for coming on, man, at the last minute here. I know we got a lot of work to get done, brother. We got some judges that are going to meet with us on Saturday, this coming Saturday. And we can't thank them enough for volunteering of their time and expertise and all that good stuff. But help us understand, I know we have a video clip too, but help us understand what ACT-SO is and what it stands for.
Well, ACT-SO is an acronym for Afro-Academic, Cultural, Technological, Scientific Olympics. And it is a program that was founded in 1978 by a journalist by the name of Vernon Jarrett in Chicago. Vernon Jarrett believed that there was a serious imbalance to how students of African descent were perceived in our society. He knew that we got recognition for being superb athletes, but when it came to the humanities, to the performing arts, to the visual arts, to business entrepreneurship, we weren't considered to have those kinds of skills.
Yeah.
So what he did was put together a competition where students would be able to show their talent in the areas of the sciences, the humanities, etc. At the time that he had this idea, the leader of the NAACP was a man named Ben Hooks.
Yeah.
And he was friends with Vernon Jarrett. So they collaborated and decided that this would be a great opportunity for the NAACP to partner this idea and make it a national program that would be administered through all of the branches nationwide. So they started this competition back in 1978. It's been around that long.
Yeah.
The downside of it is that it's not a household word, a competition that's meant to show that we indeed do have genius that resides in the African American student community. The ACT-SO program then concentrates on high school students, grades 9 through 12, as you mentioned. And the goal of the Harrisburg ACT-SO is to really encourage earnest effort so students gain the confidence and skills they'll need to thrive as adults.
Yeah. Let me stop you right there. That's great. So what I'm going to do is we have a video clip. We're going to show the video clip, then we're going to come back and make it more germane to Harrisburg and all that's going on here. And, a number of students have already signed up, but who knows? There may be some students out there that who, after seeing this program, may still get inspired and want to do some things. And we'll talk about whether or not it's too late to sign and all that kind of good stuff. But why don't we go to, I'm going to ask Brother Chris Thomas if he doesn't mind pulling up the video clip, and then we'll come back with our special guest, Brother Kaaba Brunson.
As visitors head to Atlantic City this summer to enjoy some time by the shore,
I don't know if you can turn it up just a little bit, Chris.
All across the country will also gather here for the next several days for the 113th NAACP National Convention.
The NAACP National Convention hasn't been in Atlantic City since 1968, so that is a historical fact right there. Also, we remember 1964, some of us remember, when Fannie Lou Hamer made her famous statement about she's sick and tired of being sick and tired. That was here in Atlantic City at the National Democratic Convention.
So Councilman Kaleem Shabazz, who also heads the NAACP's Atlantic City chapter,
1 minute, Dr. Gadsden. That was actually the NAACP convention and not the ACT-SO.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Give me just 2
Why
seconds.
don't we?
But that's
Okay.
just part of it, so it's not a problem.
Yeah. So that was, so he'll get up the proper video there, and we want to make sure folks kind of just get a flavor of, because it's a fantastic, competition. And like you said, it's not really a household, name or people don't know about it the way they should. But we're going to talk more about, here we go.
And excitement filled the room this past Saturday as students got ready to compete at the ACT-SO Competition Day opening ceremony at the Montgomery College Rockville campus. For over 4 decades, the mission of ACT-SO has been to prepare, recognize, and reward African American students who exemplify artistic excellence. This competition was created by the NAACP to encourage these students to focus on STEM careers, as well as the humanities, business, and the arts.
We're just proud of you. When you represent yourself in your school, in your county, and your parents, in your NAACP chapter, you are really showing the best of what we have to offer.
Councilmember Will Jawando, an NAACP alum himself, was present to show his support to the students and present this year's local honorees with a council certificate to recognize their achievements.
The ACT-SO program is really an exciting one because it allows us to showcase the talent of our kids and our students in a whole range of things, science, math, art, poetry. And so I am an NAACP alum as a student myself, and so it's really heartening for me to see our kids excelling. The fact that we sent this year 3 of the 20 students that went to the national competition in Hollywood at the NAACP Image Awards came from Montgomery County shows just the great talent that we have here. So it's just an honor to be here, and I wanted to recognize them and tell them to keep working hard.
Northwood High School student and gold medalist Gabrielle Kramer says she has gotten a lot of knowledge and different skills from being involved in the ACT-SO competition and is excited to go to nationals to go even further in her dance career.
I feel like it's such an accomplishment to, one, nationally place in the competition, and also to get flown out to LA to be with other talented students and kind of learn about ourselves and bond and learn about the industry. It's a really big accomplishment. I learned how to market myself, how to brand myself. When we were at the competition last year, we had a bunch of master classes and different seminars that could help us learn how to be the best versions of ourselves as we go and embark on our careers.
For others, like Frederica Digby, a silver medalist, taking part in the ACT-SO competition has not only given her the tools to excel in her interests and career, but has also helped her to evolve as an individual.
When I first came into the very first local competition, I was very awkward, very shy, very unsure of myself. And as time progressed throughout the competition, I became, a stronger version of who I am. And this program really strengthened that in me. So it brought resilience to me and who I am.
As these students embark to go to nationals, we wish them luck. From Rockville, Maryland, I'm Rishai Salu for County Report this week.
Nice little piece. And that just gave you a taste of what happens around the nation. But we have locally here a dynamic, program, and we want to be able to feature that tonight. That's why we have Brother Kaaba Brunson on. And also, Brother Chris, I don't know, can you pull up the Harrisburg NAACP website, just so that we can kind of get a flavor of that, because it's a very nice website that Brother Kaaba and others have put together that, features our local ACT-SO program. And I think you just go to NAACP ACT-SO Harrisburg. That's where I'll pull it up. And then it'll say
HBGACTSO.org.
Say it again.
HBGACTSO.org.
Right on. Okay. That'll get us right there. And I know Brother Chris pulls that stuff up so easily and everything. So we just get a flavor. That was what was that? Montgomery County, it said. I'm not sure. I forget exactly where they were. But it was a nice flavor. You see all the activity, and then here's the Harrisburg. There you go. Look at that.
Now, this first picture that you see here, That's the actress, what's her,
Lupita Nyong'o.
Lupita Nyong'o.
Mhm.
And that, the one that's in black, to the left of her, two girls, this black, that is our own Ms. Mubala, who graduated from Central Dauphin. She was not a gold medalist in the area that she competed in, but entered into the Lancome Write Her Future Scholarship and won a $10,000 scholarship. And so she brought us national recognition.
And she's currently a freshman at University of Pittsburgh, I believe.
Yes, yes.
Mhm. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, two of our national contestants were seniors last year and graduated. There's our co-chair, Kaaba Brunson, on the Good Day PA.
Was that the most recent one, Brother Kaaba?
No, that's not the most recent one.
Okay.
Now here's one year where we gave our students laptops. They didn't have a national competition that year, so what we did was during the pandemic. So what we did is we gave them laptops as an educational tool that all students need in our attempt to try and close that gap that exists in the community where we don't have the same kind of access. So all of our students were equipped that year.
Yeah, beautiful.
There you are standing to my right, but it'll be to the left in this one in one of our award ceremonies. And all of our students, as you see, they're holding up different citations that they received. All of our students, we try and emphasize the fact that the ACT-SO program is a convergence of the entire community centered around the idea of our belief in the abilities of our young. So they're holding their proclamations that are prepared, individual proclamations that are prepared in their names. We have proclamations prepared by the city council. I have to put a plug in because the city council president, Danielle Bowers, is a former ACT-SO contestant.
All right.
And so when you hear any of our ACT-SO, either Danielle or our new state representative, David Matson, he also was from ACT-SO. And when you give them an opportunity to talk, you would think that ACT-SO was the reason why they're there. And I always tell them that they always overstate the case. But they always make sure to mention the fact that they are proud of having competed in the ACT-SO program.
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. Big picture too.
And there we were in Philadelphia a few years ago. And ACT-SO students compete there. So this gives you an opportunity to know that the ACT-SO competition always precedes the national ACT-SO convention. So wherever the convention is going to be, that's where ACT-SO is a few days before. And they fold in the award ceremony that Sunday with the beginning of the national convention, so that the first day that people come to the national convention, they can come to the award ceremony. It wasn't always like that, Nate. It used to be separate. And ACT-SO was gone, people would pack up, go home, and then the convention would start. But years back, they decided to fold them both in, and actually people wanted to see both, but would have to make two trips. So they, in their wisdom, folded it in. So that is the photos that we've seen.
Yeah.
I did mention that we get the individual proclamations. not only from City Council and Representative David Manson, but also Representative Kim, the Dauphin County Commissioners, and the mayor. So all these individuals will be coming to our award ceremony, which will be on April the 8th at the Whitaker Center.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Quick question for you. Is it too late for students to still register if they have just hearing about it for whatever reason, and they said, okay, I think I'm going to get into poetry, I want to get into medicine, whatever. Can they still apply?
The deadline for submission of your project would be on the 18th of this month.
Okay.
If you have something that you already have prepared, there's still time. You can apply directly on the website hbgact-so.org. We will still accept applications, knowing that you would have to submit your completed project to us by the 18th. And once again, the projects can be from any of the areas of the STEM, the humanities, business entrepreneurship, the performing arts, or visual arts. Now, I don't know if we could pull up the website again and click on the categories and get the drop down so they can actually see that. I don't know if that's possible.
Yeah, Brother Chris, is that possible to pull up the the Harrisburg ACT-SO as you did, and then pull down some of the categories there?
Yeah, and then we could see that and we could kind of demonstrate. I'd like to talk a little bit about that. So if you click on categories up there, and any one of those, okay, so business, then click on business and entrepreneurship. Right, the blue, yeah. So in every one of our subjects, what we do and what we emphasize is that this is not a competition that you're competing against other students. You are competing against criteria that's given by which you'll be judged. So we will evaluate students by how closely they meet the requirements that are printed in each one of these areas. So for example, in this business entrepreneurship, if you could scroll down just a bit, you'll see that the weights for the scoring will be that the market strategy would be 10 points, management plan, personal profiles, 10 points, financial plan, market research and analysis, government requirements, etc., etc. Each one of these has the number of points that a judge will look at as they evaluate the business entrepreneurship submission, and based upon that, they will assign a total score. Now, the way that the scoring works is that if you get 85 to 89, that'll get you a bronze medal. If you get 90 to 94, that'll get you a silver medal. But if you get 95 to 100, then you get a gold medal. And all gold medalists then are eligible to represent us at the national competition. So we emphasize that because these are students that are being evaluated according to objective criteria, so that every student that's going to be at that national competition has got a minimum score of 95. So you're going to run into the best and the brightest from all over the country. So if you have any interest in our students and their prowess, going to a national competition is like being in heaven. All of our brightest from all over the country are there, and it gives you a sense that yes, we do have hope, we do have a future, because you see all these geniuses that are walking around and future leaders. So we're very proud of that.
So let's mention a couple of award winners that we had. You mentioned one young lady that won the $10,000 scholarship, but we had two other medalists, right?
Yeah, we were very fortunate. these past 2 years to be the only Pennsylvania program that won at the national level. And this past year, we were honored to have not only Danielle Mubala win at Lancome She Writes, but Chijisuni Ademuwago got a bronze medal in traditional dance. And actually, I wish that I had been able to bring a short of that, which she won. It was an African dance that she performed that so impressed the judges that she came in bronze among all the entries, and that's a big tough category.
That's a big tough category.
But last but not least, we were very, very fortunate and honored to bring home a gold medal in none other than medicine and health. And that was from Madison Stokes. She's now at Chatham College.
Yes.
And she did a study on the effects of COVID that really, really was so impressive that the judge decided that she was the best in the country.
Yeah.
And we're still kind of resonating from that win. She formerly won a bronze medal in medicine and health the year before. We also had a silver medal at the national the year before. So by a young man named Sako.
Yes.
His biology and chemistry. So we're very proud of what these young folks have done to prove that, in fact, that we are more than just superb athletes.
And let me put in the plug too, and those students were fantastic. And by the way, and they represented not themselves, their families, and our program well as well. They really purported themselves well at the nationals and even at the local level here. Let me also mention though that we have an outstanding array of judges who step up every year. And if you've never been a judge and you're interested in possibly being a judge, you can always give me a call at 717-608-2312. Now the deadline's coming up pretty quickly. We are looking for people in different areas. There's some 32 categories, Brother Kaaba?
Yes.
32 categories. And so, and we do need judges. We need, 4 to 5, I would say let's say 5 judges in every category. That way it's an odd number and it's a good one today. But we always have an outstanding array, but we could always use more. So if you're interested and you think you have an expertise, it could be, like I said, we have 32 different categories. Go to HBG, ACT-SO.org and look at the categories and see where you might fit in. And we actually have a training or a judges orientation this coming Saturday, which will be the 11th. And it'll be out at 900 South Arlington Avenue. 900 South Arlington Avenue. That's the Pennsylvania Council of Churches building. And we'll be down in the lower level, what's called we call it the cafeteria, dining area, whatever. And we're going to be there from 10 a.m. until 12 noon. So if you have an interest and you think you might want to just come check us out, we'd love to have you. We're going to have a repast, have a little, brunch there as well. And hey, and this is a community-wide program that has a lot of great community leaders involved, and you could be one of those persons. So think about it. And again, if you need to, give me a call, 717-608-2312. But the best thing you can do is go on that website, HBG-ACT-SO.org, check things out, and then come and check us out in person. And if you can't do that, you can also give me a call and I can show you how to get on Zoom. Maybe your schedule won't permit you to come, or maybe you're in the area, can't come, but you can also watch us on Zoom that day, okay? All right. So anyhow.
Just follow up with you because the judges are one of the most, if not the most important segment, besides the students themselves, of our program. And Brother Gadsden, you have served as our judges chair for a number of years now. And you have managed to assemble for all these areas such a great collection of experts in every area. We want to make sure that the folk understand that the people that judge in these areas have expertise in all these areas, and they judge these students' submissions accordingly. Of course, using the criteria, but the job that you've done, brother, in assembling such a wide array of individuals. One of the things that is an advantage of having our virtual, and this competition is going to be virtual on the 25th. One of the advantages of the virtual presentation is that the judges that have been assembled by you are sometimes in different states, in different locations, and they interview our students and judge them accordingly. But I can't speak highly enough of the job that you continue to do for us, helping to bring great legitimacy to our process. And it bears in itself. I mean, we've sent national contestants every year, and we've been lucky enough these last 2 years to win at national. So I just can't understate the job that you do as our competition judges chair.
Well, I appreciate you, man, but I tell you, it's kind of easy because we have so many great folks out there who really are willing to step up and to make this happen. And they do have expertise, like you said, and you do a great job of actually identifying a lot of people that I may not necessarily know about. So it's more of a team effort. And Pat has also really contributed a lot to that. And Damali, we all have come up with somebody that, we thought might be a good judge. And then we just kind of, but man, the ability for folks to just step up and do it, it's just been incredible. So speaking of which, let's talk about the Whitaker Center and how they stepped up last year and stepping up again this year, I understand.
Yeah, the award ceremony will be at the Whitaker Center again this year. And it's a very good atmosphere to have such a program. I didn't mention before, but the State Auditor General, Tim DeFore, wants to join with the public sector folk that make presentations to our students.
Okay.
So we're very pleased that the word is getting around, and to see, for the students to see people of this stature that have taken their time to come to support them and acknowledge them individually, I think has impact. What we're trying to do is set them on a path for success.
That's right. That's right. And like you said, when you have people at the highest levels, like a Dave Matson, who's now the state representative, and others who have participated, Bowers, Sister Bowers, who is the city council president, they are ACT-SO alum, man, ACT-SO through and through. And they wear it proudly. They talk about it, That's a great thing. And then to have like Madison out there doing her thing, and she's been featured recently in many different, ways. Down in Hershey there, she was honored along with some really great luminaries, such as your former, co-worker boss, Homer Floyd. I mean, who's a legend in so many different ways. Hattie Love, Mrs. Hetty Love. I mean, come on now, the work that these folks have done. And then to have a ACT-SO alum there, which quite frankly, I got to be honest with you, I thought they should have played that up more. I mean, she won a national gold medal, man, in medicine. And I thought, okay, what she's doing with the reading thing is excellent. Don't get me wrong, because Floyd is phenomenal. But I thought, come on now, let's say a little bit more about that ACT-SO piece, because that was national, brother. I mean, that other stuff is really good and great and fantastic, but man, who else can walk around saying I won a gold medal in medicine and NAACP ACT-SO, So that should carry a lot more weight, but a lot of weight, I should say. But all in all, just great stuff. You can't go wrong with what's happening. And then, man, hats off to you. I'm just really glad that we were able to lift you up along with your family. And I thank you so much for coming down and being a participant in our recent awards ceremony, where we honored people who have been carriers of the keepers of the culture for years. And you certainly have done that, man. You took your family last year, I think it was, to Ghana. Was that last year or 2 years ago?
Yeah, well, actually, the Ghana trip was in 2019.
Oh,
Time
really?
flies, bro.
2019? Wow.
It was 2019 when we all went to Ghana. That commemorated, I guess, the 400th year of the transatlantic slave trade.
Yeah.
But it has really been a family affair, and I'm glad that you gave an opportunity to mention. I get an opportunity to do presentations on behalf of ACT-SO, but I'm really standing on the shoulders of all those that are like yourself, but are also in my family. My wife, Nikita, she acts as the national chaperone chair when she goes. My daughter, Damali, is the co-chair, who I think if we had the opportunity to really have us represented tonight, she would have been on the program, because she really is not only a co-chair, but since we've gone virtual, she's our virtual competition manager. So all those things that have to do with the coordination of the Zoom interviews and all the technical stuff, she does that for us. At the award ceremony, there needs to be a presentation of all the awards and the pictures, and that's done by Amir, who is a NAACP alum herself, my youngest daughter, Amir. And we had my grandson up there, who is two-time gold medalist in original essay.
But wait a minute, your granddaughter too now.
And well, the youngest, but she is an 8th grader, so she's not officially an ACT-SO, but
no, I'm talking about the one who is a singer.
Yeah, I was gonna get to Ashley, who was up there, who also was a national contestant in vocal contemporary and vocal classical.
Yes.
So it's been a family affair. And with that, it's allowed me to sustain. I mean, I've been the chair. I don't know what, the bad thing about mentioning this is people say, well, when you going to leave? But I've been chair since 1999.
No, man, we need consistency. That's the problem, man. We need consistency.
Well, I got to get that. You mentioned one of our greats, the Dean of Civil Rights, Homer Floyd, was my mentor when I worked with the Pennsylvania Human Relations Commission for just under 40 years. And he was the executive director for 40 years. And sometimes I talk to him about, man, you've been doing this. He said, well, don't talk too much about it, because then people are going to wonder, you don't want to stay too long. But sometimes it takes a minute to really build the kind of organization that we have that supports ACT-SO. All the schools, we recruit our students from the different area schools, and we have participants from as far as the Milton Hershey School, Camp Hill High School, Bishop McDevitt, the Olympus Academy, Side Tech, Central Dauphin, I might have mentioned Dauphin County Tech, and Central Dauphin East in the past, and the PA Cyber Charter School. So we have a relationship with all these schools, who then will help us to recruit students from the community, and anyone else that might be looking at the broadcast now that knows of a high school student, please tell them about ACT-SO. There are no losers in our competition. All of them get acknowledged by all those public officials, whether they would or not. We always have all of them acknowledgement. All of them get those citations, because they put their foot forward to prove that we are in fact and intelligent and worthy people.
One of the things I want you to mention also is some of the folks, the famous alumni of ACT-SO, because that's one of the things that I noticed, that when we go to these national competitions, there's some people floating around. You're like, well, wait a minute. Okay, there goes so-and-so and so-and-so. Some of the famous alumni.
Well, some people probably remember Jada Pinkett now because of Will Smith at the last Oscar. But Will Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett, is an ACT-SO alum. Now, his name escapes me.
Anthony Anderson.
Anthony Anderson. And the one thing that Anthony Anderson and both Jada Pinkett say, and Roy Hargrove and others that come at the national competition, you'll have former national or former ACT-SO contestants who will come and do presentations, these celebrities that have gone on, but they'll say, yeah, I competed in ACT-SO, but I didn't win.
I didn't win. That's right.
And that just shows it wasn't fatal. It wasn't fatal. They went on to become great personalities and to be at the top of their craft. One of the real advantages of the ACT-SO national competitions, that when our kids go and they're exposed to others like themselves, they come back with a new sense of really not being on the fringe. There's a reality in our community that sometimes display of genius is looked down upon by their peers.
True.
A long time ago, there was a study Joanza Kunjufu talked about in a study on being popular to be smart. And so sometimes you'll find students who dumb down their language or do certain things in order not to be considered highly intelligent. But when they come back from the ACT-SO competition and see that they're indeed folk like themselves, it helps to build their confidence and helps them to continue to concentrate on their craft. And the most impressive thing that I've experienced is that kids coming back from the competition say, I'm getting to work on my project right now because I'm coming back next year. That's music to our ears.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely.
Music to our ears, brother.
And you have had some students who were repeat, contestants from 9th grade all the way through 12th grade because they understood the magnitude of it all and they stuck with it. And like you said, they came back and worked on their craft, whatever. I remember the young man who built a bridge, and I remember he never was able to make it to the national competition, but I was always proud of the fact that he came back at least 3 years. I remember he had that bridge. And
he was out of side tech.
Yeah, it was a side tech. He was that bridge. But the guys who we've selected as judges, I mean, they know better than we do, of course. And so they were architects and this and that. And they, and they gave him good marks, but just not high enough to get that gold. And I was like, hey, that's gold to me, brother.
Well, the kids are so impressive that when you just seeing the kind of projects that they will present, whether it's architecture, whether it's the business plan. Also, when I read some of the essays, original essays, one of the ones, or the poems, or when you hear the poetry performance, the spoken word or oratory, to see, I mean, you just sit there spellbound and say, I wish I could just take them all. But, this is the reason why they will firewall you and I from the scoring, because sometimes we just say, no, that's good enough to go.
That's right, no question.
But that's the other thing we emphasize is that the judges make their decisions based upon that criteria. They get no input from you or I as the chairperson or you as the judge's chair. And whatever decision they make, we abide by, because that
Mhm.
keeps it clean. That
Yeah.
keeps it clean. That keeps it clean.
I got to mention London McLean. London was one of the workshop proteges, and I never forget, she came to the writers' workshop with 3 other young ladies, and all 3 of them were from the continent. 2 were sisters, I think they were twins, and then 1 other sister from the continent, and they all had just started writing poetry, and they were all fantastic. London was the only one that I know of that stuck to it to the point where she entered into ACT-SO, won a bronze medal at the Nationals, and then she did very well. The next year, she didn't medal, but she did very well. I heard her presentation, and and so she's going on. She's now what I guess a junior, a sophomore, rising junior in college, and she's still doing her thing. It propels you, man. I mean, there's some brilliant young people walking around the streets of Harrisburg and the greater Harrisburg area, and they can compete at the national level, folks. That's what we're saying tonight, that this ACT-SO competition helps our young folks understand that they're no worse, no better, no anything. They are just as good as, anybody else in the world, especially when they apply themselves. And by the way, there are no losers, as Brother Kaaba said. Everybody's a winner, especially those who compete. The one thing I hope that will happen is that we'll have more young people who not only sign up but then follow through. Because some young people, they get cold feet at the very end or whatever, or something happens and they don't follow through. And that's a shame because they miss out. And, at that young age, you may be nervous about competing and all that kind of stuff. I would say don't be. You may be a little nervous, but let that nervousness propel you to go forward rather than to stop you from trying, because believe me, you'll be surprised what's in you when you really apply yourself. And, like Brother Kaaba said, hey, some of the greats, Anthony Anderson, I mean, just look what he's done with Blackish and all the other things he's been involved in. Jada Pinkett Smith has her own platforms and was doing great stuff way before she met Will Smith, and stuff like that. But they all started in ACT-SO, and they didn't win. And they'll tell you proudly, we didn't win. But look what it did for them. So this is good stuff. Again, the deadline is March the 17th. Is that what I heard you say?
The 18th.
18th.
Saturday, the 18th for submission. One of the things that you mentioned, I just wanted to also follow up on, is that we have in our community a lot of talent.
Oh, yeah.
And one thing that we emphasize with ACT-SO contestants is that you may be passing genius all day long as you walk the streets of Harrisburg. You have a different perception of us as a people, that we are in fact the oldest people on the planet, the first people on this planet, and that we need to reach down into that DNA and pull out that which made us the builders of the pyramids. So when you look at each other like that, then you have a whole different approach to your peers.
That's right.
You see them as coming from somewhere and not nowhere. So there's a lot of things that we accomplished by having this ACT-SO program, because there's been hundreds since we started this program that have come through. In the high 95th percentile have gone on to college. And have done things, and those who did not went into different trades and are contributors in our community. So we feel that the ACT-SO program is a portion of the effort that our community is making to make it better tomorrow for all of our citizens, by making sure that our students are productive and contributors to tomorrow's society.
And having said that, you've done a fantastic job. That's why I'm glad that you're still in the seat, man, because it takes somebody with your kind of tenacity, foresight and all that to get it done. This is an expensive program. But however, there are some major contributors to this program. Some have been doing it over the years. You want to highlight some of those people or entities that have supported this program over the years?
Well, part of program and administration, it takes money in order to administer this program, and it's expensive to take gold medalists to the national competition. We have to stay at not the hotel of our choosing, but the hotel that is designated by the national, because a lot of the competitions are held either at the hotel or in close proximity, so they require us to stay there. So we have to pay that 5-star hotel rate. So we have to raise adequate funds, and doing so, we've gone around in the community. We've had a major contributor to ACT-SO for many years has been the Hershey Company.
Right.
They give us serious help, but also the Giant, and we've gotten several other. As a matter of fact, once again, if we could pull up and we could go to the sponsors, that might be good.
Okay.
To roll the sponsors and those who have contributed and have helped to fund the ACT-SO program.
So that's at HBG ACT-SO.
Yeah, and they click on the sponsor tab.
Sponsors, okay. We'll see if Brother Chris can pull that up. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Brother Chris, man,
yeah, the sponsors. There you go.
He is, man. He's on the money. Oh, and I didn't mention that last year, Brother Chris came and he recorded our award ceremony.
Oh yeah, that's
so
right.
He's very much part of ACT-SO.
Oh yeah, big time. And that was at the Whitaker Center. Oh, at the top of the Chris says sponsors. If you can pull that down.
So here we are.
We got it already. Okay.
If you scroll down, you see we have the Hershey Company. Neuro Alert was the ones that gave us the money to get those computers that you saw the picture of. Let's scroll down. The Giant. Everybody knows who Giant is.
Oh yeah. And
one of the things, and Larry Myers and Associates, he's a local businessman that has been supporting for as long as I've been the chair.
Yeah, okay.
And he gives us Class A awards. ABC TV 27. Now, if you watch TV 27, you've seen an ACT-SO commercial. They run them now. They're running currently. And they don't just stick them on at 2 a.m. They run all day prime time. Every time I look up, I see. And they've done a great job for us. They are having them on our side. I think was just a major accomplishment. The Dauphin County Commissioners have not only done citations for our students, but they contribute also to ACT-SO.
Oh yeah.
We've also had contributions from the Coalition of Black Trade Unionists.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
Before you go back to county commissioners, one of our commissioners actually served as a judge, right?
Yes, Chad Saylor, Dauphin County Commissioner, was a judge on our classical instrumental, and he's an instrumentalist himself.
Okay.
So he brought that expertise, and actually, you know how we have to go around and contact people. Contacted me and said he wanted to do it again this year. So
yes, he did.
It's just beautiful having the support of the Dauphin County Commissioners.
Yeah.
And I did mention the Harrisburg School District for long. Yeah, the Harrisburg School District hosted the ACT-SO program for many moons.
Yeah, many.
So we just thought we would keep them up there. In the last few years, we've been moving the competition around, but for many years we hosted the ACT-SO competition right at the Harrisburg School District.
That's right, especially John Harris. Yes.
Yeah. The Kiwanis Club is one of our supporters as well, and has contributed. And all this is to help us get those students to the national.
Fantastic. Yeah.
And of course, our most recent addition has been the Whitaker Center. It's done a fine job, you know, providing that facility for us. All the technical things that allowed us to be there, and the space and all that. It really, I think, put the program on a new level.
I think so too.
People be able to come down to a place like that. So Milton Hershey, not only did they are they now the school that has the most individual students competing in the ACT-SO program. Of all the schools I mentioned, Milton Hershey is sending us the most students.
Fantastic.
They cover all the areas: the sciences, the humanities, the performing arts, the visual arts, business entrepreneurship. But Milton Hershey itself contributed funds to the ACT-SO program and was responsible. Many may see like the ad that is run now for ACT-SO is taking photos from the recording that they did of our competition last year.
Fantastic. Good.
Yeah. So this is how, and I'm glad that you mentioned that. This is a holistic approach, and Dream Machine Network. This website that we're showing you is donated by Dream Machine Network. And the updates and all that, Bilal Hassan is the owner of Dream Machine Network.
Okay.
And has been responsible for putting together our website and all the updates.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So these are the segments of the community that have come together to support us and continue to support us year in and year out. And we can't understate the importance of that, having people who believe in what we're doing. And as the saying goes, they put their money where their mouth is.
Yeah.
So and without that, of course, we would just have the competition here, and then we wouldn't be able to take the students anywhere.
Right.
So,
and what to show the magnitude of what these sponsors have done, I was able to travel with you and the students that are to San Antonio, Texas. Come on, man. We went to Detroit, Michigan. We've been out to Cincinnati, Ohio, to Atlantic City, Philadelphia, Baltimore. Man, we've been some places, man. You guys have been, and over the years, you've been a lot further than that,
Oh, man, we've been to Los Angeles. Wow. We've been all over. Like we said, now you were in San Antonio, but they also had it in Houston before.
Okay.
And so every year, wherever the NAACP National Convention is going to be, that's where ACT-SO is. So in July, we'll be going to Boston, Massachusetts.
Nice.
And that's going to, and we really had to buckle down on our fundraising because that's going to be an expensive journey.
That's right. Yeah.
And when I mentioned that we have to put the kids up in hotels for 4 or 5 days that the competition goes on.
But let me say this though, also, I know you haven't mentioned this, but I gotta say this, man. Not only do these kids get a chance to go, they don't have to kick out of their pockets for nothing. I mean, the way you've been able to pull this thing together, and then not only that, you give them a little something, to tide them over and that kind of thing. So these sponsors step up big time, when it comes to that.
They know what we do with it. The thing about it, the sponsors, they can see where the money's going.
Yeah.
These are all dedicated funds. Nothing goes into anyone else's general fund for anything. Every penny that is collected for ACT-SO is accounted for. Yeah. So when we send these kids, we're able to give them a stipend or sports assistance for the day.
Yeah.
But the magnitude of our sponsor contributions have allowed us now that every bronze medalist gets $250 per medal. And every silver medalist gets $350 per medal.
And that's the local level.
At the local level. And every gold medalist gets $500 per medal. And then every graduating senior gets the equivalent amount in a continuing education incentive to help them on their way. So we have tried to do that all we think is possible to encourage, not only encourage our kids to step forward, but to reward them also for what they're doing.
That's excellent, man.
I'm so glad you're such a great person that does interviews to pull all this stuff out, because
hey, man, listen, you've been doing a great job, brother. It's just, and to witness it and everything, and then the magnitude of what you have to do at the national level. By the way, let's mention also that you are the state director for ACT-SO.
Well, recently the state had new elections, and the state president offered, and I accepted, to take over the statewide chairpersonship. In that capacity, what I do is try and develop ACT-SO programs in other parts of the Commonwealth, and also help them prepare for a national competition as well. I took it with the understanding that I had such great support here that I would not do violence to our local program.
Right.
But it's just an honor to be asked to be over all programs in the state of Pennsylvania.
You've done that before, though, right? This is like this is a return to that role. Is that right?
I did it for a number of years. From I guess, I did it for about 7 or 8 years, and then there was another. Someone else was appointed, and we ran into the pandemic, and a whole lot of things happened. And as a result of that, it became vacant again, and they asked me to come back, and I've accepted. So,
well, listen, man, I know we run out of time. I'm just glad that you did accept it, brother, because I think what you're doing locally and what you will do statewide, and even on the national level, I've seen you operate, man. A lot of people with great respect from the national level. People know that you speak up. You get things done. So just props to you. And I just hope more people will discover ACT-SO, get involved with ACT-SO, and let's really make ACT-SO a staple. It is already, as far as I'm concerned, one of the staple foundational programs of the greater Harrisburg area for our youth to develop, grow, and then contribute to society in a big way. I want to thank Brother Kaaba Brunson, the state chairperson of ACT-SO, and the local chairperson as well, for coming on today and talking about this fantastic program. Don't forget, we do have an orientation for judges on Saturday, this coming Saturday, March the 11th, from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. It's just 2 hours. We will feed you. Come on out now. And if you have any interest whatsoever, please go to hbgactso.org. Say it again, hbgactso.org. Check out the program and see where you fit in, and then come out and help us out, okay? And again, if you have any questions, you can always give me a call, 717-608-2312 when it comes down to judging. Brother Kaaba, how can it reach you?
I can be reached at 717-645-4873. And my information is on the website as well.
Fantastic.
And the email is KAABA, like my first name that's down in the corner, NJIE@verizon.net.
Good stuff. Well, I don't want to take any more time away from the other brother that's coming up. Stay tuned to The Voice 17104 for all good information. And I know Brother Chris got something in store for you. So God bless you. See you next time here on the Griot Collective. Everybody have a good night now. Brother Chris, Brother Kaaba, peace, man.
Peace.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you.